So what's going on, guys? It is Jeremy, it's speedboxing. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel before you click onto any of these videos. Also comment below in the comment section if you guys have any opinions on what I'm saying in any of these videos. Like always, it is appreciated if you guys could drop me a quick sub or two on my channel. So after he regained his IBF super middleweight title a couple of weeks ago in his rematch with Caleb Truax out in the States, a few people have been talking about what James Degale should be doing next, and the majority of these people think James Degale should cash out against the winner of the World Boxing Super Series, win, lose or draw, get a paycheck and then retire. You know what I mean? A few people think he should retire now because James Degale isn't the same fighter he once was a couple of years ago. That is evident. He did better in the rematch with Caleb Truax than he did in the first fight. He made some adjustments defensively. He wasn't getting hit as much. James Degale, he fought a bit of a dirty fight. He was holding a lot more. He was putting his head in and stuff like that. So he made a few adjustments. He made the fight a lot more dirtier than what he did the first time around. And you know what I mean? He was focusing more on not getting hit than throwing shots himself in some of the rounds. James Degale, like offensively, James Degale, he's a good fighter on the inside, James Degale. But you know what I mean, because he lacks that physical strength, he's never really been a killer on the inside, and he gets pushed back a lot and stuff like that. Like, he's a good fighter on the inside, but he doesn't have the physical strength to keep his work on the inside. He isn't somebody like an Andre Ward or a Ricky Hatton or anything like that. Like, he's not physically strong through his weight class. And also, James Degale, he's never really had a definitive punch. He hasn't really got a George Groves right hand or a Rigondeaux left hook or anything like that. Like, he's never really had that in his career. He don't really use a jab much, James Degale, nowadays, or anything like that. Like, he doesn't use a good jab to keep a fighter from coming in on him, or he doesn't really have that definitive punch to keep a fighter from coming in on the inside. Like, go watch Chris Eubank Jr. against George Groves. Like, Chris Eubank Jr. couldn't come on the inside because he was wary of that right hand from George Groves, because he was thinking, if I try coming on the inside, I could get countered here by this big right hand from George Groves, or he could hit me with something that could put me down. So he was very respectful of that right hand. But against James Degale, that could be a totally different story, because James Degale doesn't really have that definitive punch. He has a decent left hand over the top that he throws sometimes, that he threw against Andre Dirrell, that knocked him down twice, and he threw it a couple of times in his career that have hurt opponents. Like, there is decent power with James Degale when he plants his feet and he sets it up properly. James Degale does have some power, but he's not got the power of somebody like a George Groves in a super middleweight division, or a Callum Smith. But James Degale, he's always been a decent boxer. He's always been a guy who's done it the hard way, travelling on the road. He's been in a lot of tough fights, and a lot of people think that he shouldn't have took the punishment he's took in his career. But people have felt that he's underestimated a lot of the people he fought. He's overlooked a lot of the people he's fought. Like, when he fought Lucien Bute, he said he was just going to knock Lucien Bute out in 4 rounds. That didn't happen. It was a tough fight. Same when he fought Porky Medina. He said he was going to stop him in 6 or 7 rounds, that he was levels above. But that turned out to be a very, very tough fight for him as well. And the same with Badou Jack. You know what I mean? Badou Jack was a very, very big man. Big super middleweight world champion. And James Degale went into that fight overconfident. And that's the thing with James Degale. He's always been very overconfident going into fights, maybe too confident that he's looking past his opponents. Like, when he fought Badou Jack, he was looking past Badou Jack, thinking that he was just going to unify the titles and go on to fight the other champions, like not giving Badou Jack the respect he should have. And then when he got in the ring with him, he realised how strong Badou Jack was and how big the guy actually was. And James Degale, like I said, has never really been the most physically strong guy in the ring. So yeah, James Degale's career, it's been up and down in my opinion. A lot of people feel like he's done the smart move in his career by not being tied down by one promoter. He's been here, there and everywhere fighting in the States. He's been with Eddie Hearn. He's been with Frank Warren. He's been with Mick Hennessy. Like, James Degale, he's never really been tied down by one promoter in his career, and he likes to be in control of his own finances and likes to know what he's getting, and he doesn't like to be under the thumb of a promoter. Promoters like Eddie Hearn think it was a mistake from James Degale doing this, that he could have earned a lot more money, and maybe he could have, but it's all ifs at now with James Degale. If he would have done this, if he would have signed with him, if he'd have fought him at this time, you know what I mean? It's all ifs and buts now when it comes to James Degale. Like, he's seen the best years of his career, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to get any better now. I think he's going to get worse, if anything. He's on the slide a little bit now in his career. James Degale, in my opinion, his peak was when he fought the likes of Marco Antonio Paraban and Brendan Gonzalez. Like, he looked sharp in them fights back when he was calling out Carl Froch and stuff like that. That's when James Degale looked like a killer. But when he started to go to America and Canada and stuff like that, like, he was putting on good performances still, decent performances. But you know what I mean? He's always lacked that sharpness for a couple of years now, James Degale. He's just lacked it. You know what I mean? And he makes fights a lot harder than what he should do. And like I said, that's because he looks past opponents and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? James Degale, it is what it is. What he does next, it's up to him what he's going to do in his career. In my opinion, I'm with the majority. I think he should have one big fight against a Chris Eubank Jr. or a George Groves or a Callum Smith and then call it a day, you know what I mean? Knock it on the head. Maybe fight George Groves in a unification bout. Try and get his chance to unify the super middleweight division again and then call it a day, because then he can say he's a 3-time super middleweight champion, Olympic gold medalist. That's a pretty good career in my opinion. He's earned decent money. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is at the end of the day. Comment below. It's JM, it's Speedbox.